Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you today at our event, How to Build Retirement and Cash Flow Before You're Too Old to Use It. That sounds like a good thing, right?
Yeah, you want to enjoy the thing early, not be so old and you're like, you're trying to go out and travel and see the world and you got to you're on a little walker because you waited too long to enjoy life.
Although people in walkers can still enjoy life and go on vacations.
Yeah.
So if you don't already know who we are Martin and Chelsea Matthews. We'll get into a little bit more about who we are, what we do, why we're qualified to share this information with you. But as you come in, please let us know where you're tuning in from and put it in the comments. And if you know anyone who might be interested in this topic, please share this out, tag them, invite them. The more the merrier, because we really want to help as many people as we can to empower them with this information. And before we get started, I want to tell you why we're sharing this information with you. But before I do that, is there anything else you wanted to cover, say, perform?
I just want to give a shout out to a few people. Hey, Barbara.
Okay, good, because I'm going to share this.
What's
Hey,
up,
Barbara.
Alan Phillips, Little Rock, Arkansas. We were just talking about that the other day.
All right, Arkansas.
Oh, no, don't say Arkansas.
Arkansas.
From Delaware.
Arkansas.
That's what I thought when I first came to America. All right, let's get rolling.
Okay, I'm trying to find us so that I can share. Let's see here really quick.
So from Sandy Springs. No, sorry. One of the things we do, if you stay through till the end, we're going to show you how to get a free.
We have a free gift.
Yeah, okay.
We have a free gift for you, and we're going to show you how you can get more, and specifically learn how you can build your retirement and cash flow before you're too old to enjoy it. So I want to share with you why we're bringing this information to you, why it's so important, because really it has impacted and empowered our lives and our finances. And we didn't always know this information. It took us a long time to learn it, to be able to implement it, and now be able to, in our business, help our clients to implement these strategies as well. And we didn't always know this information. It took hard work to learn it and implement it. And so we want to help you learn in a much easier way, a much faster way to be able to implement it as well. In fact, before I met Martin, I was a single mom for 7 years, and I really struggled to find the right information. And I felt like I was always struggling to find a balance between financial success and family success. If you're a parent, you may have experienced this. I felt like I couldn't have both. I felt like I was failing at both. If I was spending time with my son, I was broke. And if I was making money, I wasn't spending time with my son. And I hated it. And I wanted to find a better way. I knew there had to be a better way. And I knew that if I could find a better way, I could teach my son the tools to be successful. And I could also help other single moms and other families to learn this better way. And so I set out on this journey. I read books. I went to seminars. I got around the right people. And eventually I met a group of financial advisors, and they were teaching people how money works. They were making money doing it. And I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. This is perfect. And not only that, that's where I met this guy, Martin. He was already working with this group of people. So he kind of took me under his wing, showed me the ropes. Mm-hmm. And not only did we have so many of the same goals in our business, we also had a lot of very similar goals in our life, like the impact that we wanted to make and the things that we wanted to be able to do. So we ended up combining our business, combining our life, and now we get to help people strengthen their financial house. And there was something that I was going to say, but I think that I don't remember, and it's probably on maybe one of our slides. So we will get started, and I'll tell you a little bit more about now what we do, our experience. Like I said, we're Martin and Chelsea Matthews, and we're founders of M Wealth Group. We have clients in 46 states, and we have a combined 19 years of experience. We also lead an agency of associate advisors, and we have multiple licenses in the fields of investment advisory, securities, and insurance. And Martin mentioned that we have a free gift for you, and that is that's our book. We have a free digital copy. We're co-authors of this book, Let's Fight About Money, helping couples communicate about money, handle conflict, and build an unbreakable financial house. Now, I shared with you a little bit about who we are, why we're bringing this information to you, and we help individuals and businesses properly use cash flow to create personal wealth. And our mission is to deliver measurable results to help our clients build an unbreakable financial house and business so they can be free to live their life by design. And so I've mentioned this unbreakable financial house a few times now. I'm going to get into exactly what that is, but I want to tell you how we are going to deliver this information to you. And really, when we help our clients, our goal is to really empower you. We're not just saying, hey, we know this information, we're so smart, we're experts, you have to just do what we say and take our word for it. No, this is how we teach you and our clients, by helping you increase your knowledge, responsibility, and control. Because when you increase your knowledge, then you have more information and you're more empowered to make your own decisions. And then when you increase your knowledge, you can take more responsibility for those actions, because it's not like, oh, they told me, so I did it, but I don't know why. No, you've increased your knowledge so you know why you're taking these actions. And then you have more control over your life, your results, your money. I would rather be in control of my money than have my money control me, right? So we really want to empower you. Okay, so let's get into what the heck are these 6 building blocks to an unbreakable financial house. And first of all, an unbreakable financial house means that your finances are unshakable. They can handle anything that comes your way financially. But beyond that, you can really, truly create the life that you want to live, make the impact that you want to make. And really, it's about reaching your full potential. That's one of the things that is like one of our basic purposes in life, is looking at how much we can accomplish when we've reached what we thought was our potential. Now, what else can we do? And the more resources, the stronger your finances are, the more that you could be free to do that. So I'm going to go over what these 6 building blocks are. And these are what make up your financial house. Everyone's building a financial house, whether you have a financial shack, a financial mansion, or something in between. So you got to figure out where you are in each of these 6 building blocks, and then you figure out where you want to go, and you strengthen each one of these, and it takes you along the way to strengthening and eventually building that unbreakable financial house. So what makes your financial house is cash flow is building block number 1, the money coming in and going out. Crucial. If you don't have this, you can't really make any of the other building blocks work. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important to always look at how can you get it up? How can you get that cash flow up?
Keep it up.
Yes. Number 2 building block is debt management, understanding the difference between good and bad debt and how to make it work for you. Building block number 3 is reserves. This is so important in strengthening your financial house. And we just saw that through this pandemic, where many people were out of work. Even many people who were making a lot of money, they were paycheck to paycheck. And when that paycheck stopped coming in, no matter how much money they were making, they were financially destitute. So having those reserves is crucial in withstanding unexpected circumstances. Building block number 4 is proper protection. Also helps to protect against that. And this really secures the survival of your financial future and generations to come as well. Building block number 5 is build wealth. This is so important in creating the life you truly want to live, but also understanding the enemies to your wealth that can not only destroy your wealth, but keep you from building it. And building block number 6 is build legacy. These are having the proper things in place, the proper documents so that your wishes can happen while you're here, if something unexpected happens, and even if you're not here, so that you can really create that legacy that you imagine. And so generations and generations, you can still be making an impact.
Yes.
All right, so those are the 6 building blocks to an unbreakable financial house. And Martin is going to deep dive today with you, talking about how to build retirement, talking about building wealth and cash flow. Cash flow, and how to have more of it now before you're too old to enjoy it.
Look, nobody wants to be too old to enjoy something. So it's
sorry. One thing really quick I forgot to say is if you guys have questions along the way, put them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them through this live. If we don't get to it, we will reach out to you and answer your questions. So please feel free to
ask questions. We like two-way communication where we may communicate with you. You guys communicate back with us. If there's questions, comments, all these things, feel free to ask along the way. Okay. So first of all, anytime you are trying to handle or do well on a certain topic or a certain area in life, you need to understand and define the words of that area. So when I went and looked up retirement, because that's something people ask us about, how do I plan for retirement? What should I do? So we actually look up the word retirement. So in under B on the definition there, it says withdrawal from one's position or occupation or from active working life. Right? It talks about the age at which one normally retires, reaches retirement in May. So
not withdrawing from active life.
Yeah, not withdrawing from active life. Just active working life is how they define retirement. Now, the interesting thing is nothing in the definition about the word quote unquote retirement says anything about money, says anything about freedom, says anything about living life on your terms, says anything about traveling. So that's why you need to redefine retirement. What does this word even mean? Why do so many people talk about it? Why do I need to have a retirement account? Which retirement account should I have? I hear people say, oh, you should save for retirement. You need to invest. Why? What does this even mean? What am I trying to do? That's what we're going to talk about here. And then we're going to talk about the old traditional way of doing it and a newer, better way of doing it. Not that it's newer.
Sexy way.
It's just a better way. And you can look at that and determine that for yourself. That's what Chelsea talked about, knowledge, responsibility, and control. When you increase your knowledge, you can actually take more responsibility and be more in control of your money versus handing it over somewhere else and not having as much control as you think. So retirement redefined. So the way we're going to approach this, number one, we're going to look at how do you actually define retirement, a better definition of retirement, and just, I'm just going to withdraw from work. Because look, you could withdraw from work and be broke. You could be homeless and withdrawn from work. You're not actively working, you're homeless. That's not retired. That's a tough financial position to be in. So retirement redefined, this is how we approach it in our lives and with our clients. It's a position where you have passive income greater than your expenses for the lifestyle you choose. So position, it means you arrive at something. It's something you build, you can get to it, right? It's a position you arrive at where you have passive income. Passive income is income that is coming to you without you having to necessarily go out and work for it every day. Like if you go and you get paid a salary, you get paid hourly, that's considered active income. You have to actively go and do something to get that income. Passive income is where you're not necessarily actively doing something right then, but that income is still coming to you. And ideally, that income needs to be greater than your expenses for the lifestyle you choose, right? So if some people's lifestyle is $2,000 a month, other people's lifestyle is $4,000 a month. Other people's lifestyle is $8,000 or $10,000 a month. I remember when my lifestyle was $2,000 a month. It's not anymore. And it's not because I just massively expanded my lifestyle. There's lots of other things that we like to do. We like to travel. We like to do other stuff like this. Chelsea was able to go the other week to Aruba for a few days, on short notice. We like to be able to do those kinds of things. And so that's a certain lifestyle a person has, is your quality of life. So based on what the cost of your quality of life is, that's how you figure out how much your passive income needs to be. And when you arrive in that position, then you can consider yourself retired. And so we'll talk about how do you do that sooner, how you don't have to wait to be super old to do it, how you can do that at a much younger age when you have the right outlook on it. So it means retirement is not about reaching a certain age. It's not about if you have a 401k or an IRA. Retirement, if you redefine it based on how we're saying it, It's not about any of those things. Retirement is about cash flow. Cash flow is what determines all these other things that you're trying to do. The key is cash flow. So first, we're going to look at the traditional way you're told to plan. Now, Chelsea and I talk about different financial licenses we have. In order for you to advise people on their money and help them actually implement those strategies and put financial products into place, you need to be licensed by law. So we have various licenses to help people with these things. And so over the years, we looked at what is the best way? What is the way we want to do it that makes sense to us? And what is the way that, based on what other people say they want to do, that could make sense for them too? And so the traditional way that people plan for retirement looks like this. So a lot of times, if you're fortunate enough to maybe run into a financial advisor, this is the type of advice that you might get. So a lot of advisors will tell you, well, there's two ways to follow. The traditional way follows these two key rules when it comes to retirement planning. So the first rule is the 25X rule. And then the second rule is the 4% rule when it comes to retirement planning. And I'll explain those two here in a second. So the 25X rule says you need to save 25 times your income in order to retire. So if you make $100,000 a year, you need to have $1 million saved. So you see, $40,000 a year times 25 is $1 million. That's the 25X rule. So a lot of times people don't know how much money they need to have saved for retirement. Everybody says save for retirement, save for retirement. Nobody tells you how much and why. So that's when I first came to America. I came to America from Liberia, West Africa. And I got my first job here where I got a 401k retirement plan. And, they're like, oh, it's your retirement account. So they give me my little package and everything. So I went to ask, can you help me decide which one I should put the money into? And they said, oh, no, we can't. You have to decide that for yourself. I'm like, I don't know anything about this stuff. And then, so I checked, there's a box that said growth. So I checked that box. I'm like, well, I want my money to grow. So I'm going to check the box that says growth. I didn't know anything about it. And then people would tell me about their 401k at work, but nobody could tell me how much I needed to put into the 401k or how much I needed to grow into or when should I take the money or anything like that. I was just kind of winging it, which is what most people do. There's not really a plan. You got a job, so they offer you a 401k or a 403b, depending on where you work, or a TSP if you work for the government or you're in the military, and they all kind of work the same. But the 25X rule is what traditional retirement planning advises people to do, 25 times your annual income. Now, that's because of something else called the 4% rule. The 4% rule says if you withdraw 4% of your money during the first year and you keep withdrawing that same dollar amount, you have a good chance it will last your full retirement, but it's not guaranteed. So here's what that looks like. 4% rule says, okay, so I'm making 40 grand a year. I've saved my $1 million in my retirement account. I'm going to withdraw the first year I retire, I'm going to withdraw 4%. That would equal $40,000 a year. Well, what if you don't have $1 million? If you have $500,000 and you're like retirement age, well, if you follow the 4% rule, you're going to withdraw $20,000. If you withdraw a lot more than that 4%, you're more likely to run out of money during your retirement. Does that all make sense? So drop a comment if that all makes sense so far. So somebody retires at 65, they start withdrawing more than, let's say somebody retires at 65 and they have $500,000 in a retirement account and they withdraw $50,000 a year. How long does that last? Well, it lasts 10 years. So now that 65-year-old is now 75 and they have no money. What if they live longer than 75? What do they do then? So that's why you have to look at retirement planning a little bit differently and redefine it. So in this example, 25X and a 4% rule for somebody making $40,000 a year. You can see it laid out there. 25X rule, 40,000 times 25 is $1 million. 4% rule, 1 million. You withdrawing 4% per year is $40,000 of income. Now that's not how much. When I say how much is earning, we're just talking about how much you're taking out. You take out 4% during your first year, and that becomes this dollar amount that you take out each year to try to make sure the money lasts as long as you do. So you're constantly told to save for retirement, but what's your real target? Why do you save for retirement as far as financially? The real target is not the $1 million in a retirement account. Because first of all, if you got $1 million in your retirement account, you're not going to take it all out at once. So what's the real target? The real target is not the $1 million in a retirement account. The real target is the $40,000 of cash flow. It pays you. Because unless you're going to take all that $1 million, withdraw it, and then go and put it, go bet on black in Vegas, because what did Wesley Snipes say? Always bet on black. So if you go and bet on black in Vegas, and you try to double the money because you bet on, you go and try to gamble it. So that's not what most people do. You take it out little by little, right? And even if you have a traditional retirement account, like a lot of people do, like a 401k or an IRA, when you have $1 million in there, the entire $1 million do not belong to you. Some of that money belongs to the IRS.
Wait, what? That's your money.
If you have $1 million in your retirement account, the money, the part of it that actually belongs to you is about $700,000. $300,000 of that would go to taxes. Unless you get a vehicle
belong to
section.
you. Somebody just takes claim to it.
They siphon some of it off. So when you take that $40,000 cash flow of income, guess what you have to pay on it? Taxes. So we'll talk, before we finish today, we'll talk about how you can actually have a tax-free retirement. And you can have a retirement that's also guaranteed, where you can get income for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. And that's where cash flow is important, because if you have cash flow and it's more than your expenses, you are now in a financially free position. And I'll explain to you a formula that you can apply to yourself so you can understand exactly how to do that. So look, it comes down to the $3,334 a month of passive income. That $1 million will pay you, because you're not going to pull out the $1 million the first year you retire. You're going to be taking out $3,334 a month of income and then trying to make that money last for the rest of your life. So that means most people have the wrong target. You're told you should have a retirement number. Your retirement number, how much you need to save for retirement, this, and this. Well, there's a lot of other variables in there that people aren't factoring in when I tell you that. Because if I have $1 million saved for retirement, they don't tell you how much am I going to withdraw every year. 4%, 5%, 3%. That's the actual money I'm going to be living on. So that is extremely important, because I'm not going to spend $1 million all at once. I'm going to be living on the $3,334 of monthly cash flow that's going to generate, right? So you're told to put your attention on $1 million in your retirement account, when your focus should be on that $3,334 monthly cash flow. And then cash flow is what allows you to have financial freedom. So now if you look at a traditional way of retirement planning, which do you think is easier and takes less time for somebody to achieve? The $1 million? Jing said it makes sense. What about a Roth IRA? Roth IRA is tax-free. I'll talk about that here in a second. Which one is easier to achieve? 1 million in a 401k? Think about how long it takes somebody to accumulate 1 million. Who's making 40 grand a year? $40,000 a year. How long will it take? First, they got to live. And that $40,000, they gotta pay for their life now. They got to pay for their car, their house, their food, all that stuff. Then they got to save some money. And they got to get all of this right all along these many years. They got to get it all right. They got to pick the right investments, don't lose money, all this stuff. And then finally reach a certain age with this $1 million in their retirement. How many people do you think actually do that? A very small percentage. So which one do you think is easier to achieve or takes less time? The $1 million in a 401k, or figuring out how do I get to $3,334 a month of passive income? So which one do you think people can achieve sooner rather than when they're too old to enjoy it? So it comes down to that.
We got some smart people in the house.
What does
some
it?
People are paying attention. They say passive income,
Passive
baby.
income.
Give me that passive income.
You want to get some massive passive income. So we'll talk about how you do that. So first of all, why are so many told to focus on the 1 million? There used to be this commercial people used to have this number following them around. It was their retirement number or whatever it is. Do you know your retirement number? And it was like, they had these digits following them in a commercial. And then the whole thing was to get people to figure out what their retirement number is and focus on the retirement number. And nobody was telling them to focus on cash flow. Okay, so you got the $1 million. You still have to solve your cash flow problem. You still need to live every month. It's how everybody pays for their livelihood per month. Your electricity bill is per month. Even if your mortgage is paid off, all your stuff, all your other living expenses are generally paid monthly, or you can pay it annually. Still, most people are paying things on a monthly basis. That's how you get billed. Your phone is going to be billing you every month. That's how it's structured here. So the focus should not be on the whole $1 million pie. It should be on that monthly income. So why are so many people told to focus on the 1 million? The short answer is Wall Street, and Chelsea can pick it back up from here.
All right, so tell me if you have seen this movie. If you saw the movie about the little old lady living life and receiving $40,000 a year from her retirement account. Did you see that movie? Put it in the comments if you saw that movie. I'll tell you, if you put in the comments that you saw that movie, you're a liar because it doesn't exist. It's not sexy. Nobody's making a movie about some little old lady living on $40,000 a year from her retirement account. Nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah.
That's too stable.
Yeah. So you see, there's another one. You ever seen this other movie?
What about the mom and pop who bought the local self-storage facility that cash flows? Isn't that exciting? Doesn't that sound like an exciting movie? There's no turmoil. There's no drama because they're living their retirement using their cash flow.
Yes. So your retirement should not be filled with drama, okay? Your retirement should be fun and easy. You got cash flow coming in.
Barbara's telling the truth. She never saw that.
Like, yeah, nobody makes movies about that, right? So they're like Chelsea was saying, they're not considered sexy people. Now, you want to finish the other part there?
Yeah, because what is considered sexy or exciting is to buy a stock at $5 and it goes up to 75 and you're a gazillionaire. Those are the kind of stories that people get wowed about. Those are the kind of stories you hear on social media. Those are the kind of movies people watch. But it's not always reality, okay? That is not a stable retirement. And we're looking for stable, guaranteed, reliable, right? We don't want drama and
when it comes
disaster. We want to watch that because it's exciting on TV, but we don't want that to be our life.
You don't want that to be your retirement cash flow story. That is up and down, crazy things happening.
Barbara says our neighbor across the road is the largest owner of self-storage facilities in the U.S. Now that is sexy.
Yes, that is massive cash flow that's coming into that person. They don't have to go out and do a whole lot for it. It's a storage unit. People keep their stuff in there. People who move from state to state, they want to carry all of the things they own. Plus, they have sentimental things. They will keep it in that storage, and they will pay that storage units for lifestyle. To have income coming in that exceeds their lifestyle, is greater than their lifestyle. And now they're financially free because they own these cash flowing assets. And we'll talk about how do you do that, no matter where you are today. Even if you don't have a lot of money, how exactly do you achieve something like that? So Wall Street supplies the mutual funds in your retirement account. So movies are made about Wall Street, they're made about investing and some big thing happens and the man made a big play and all this stuff. This is what these types of movies are about. But, they don't really guarantee cash flow when it comes to retirement.
Nope.
That's why so many people are afraid of running out of money. You got hundreds of millions of people in America. The vast majority of them who are getting close to retirement are afraid they will run out of money. So what has Wall Street done for these people? It's not deliver the results for them to be prepared for their retirement, where they can approach retirement drama-free, where they can approach retirement knowing, hey, I'm going to have enough cash flow, no worries about it. Everything's going to be, I got enough built up. I know what my cash flow target's going to be, all of those things. So what we're trying to do is change people's thinking about how they plan out for retirement and change their thinking about how they approach cash flow so that they can actually reach their goals faster, easier, with more safety, so that it's not filled with drama.
Yep, Malcolm says, yep, sexy stories sell, but you really want to take emotion out of money as far as you can.
Absolutely. So, well, retirement isn't about age, it's about cash flow. Something I said, I'm going to put this on a shirt. Retirement isn't about age, not about age, it's about cash flow. I don't even like the word retirement because people retire and you can still have sufficient cash flow and you can do other things you want to do with your life.
People actually retire. They end up retiring
Yeah,
their life soon.
That's why you see guys like Warren Buffett. He's in his 80s and he's still working.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to work because of money. He's still working because he likes doing what he's doing, but he doesn't have to worry about money. You don't have to be as rich as Warren Buffett. You can get to a point where your passive income exceeds your expenses and for the lifestyle that you choose, and you can then do anything that you want to do because you have more time freedom now. So this is the new formula I'm going to give you for successful retirement. It says SR equals PI greater than E. All that simply means is successful retirement. You don't want just an ordinary retirement. You want a successful retirement if you're going to use the word retirement. So you want a successful retirement equals successful retirement is passive income greater than your expenses. Whatever your lifestyle is how much your expenses are based on the type of life that you wanting to live, wherever you are financially. If your passive income exceeds that, then you can consider yourself retired if you want. This has nothing to do with age. There's no law you have to retire at a certain age. So when it comes down to passive income, you can build it, you can buy it, and you can also do both. You can build it and buy it. So let's talk about how you do that. So how do you build passive income? First of all, you can build a business and exit from the day-to-day role and still get paid from it. So I could go and say, hey, I'm going to start a side business. I'm going to turn that side business into something like my main business. I'm going to work at it. I'm going to hire people. And then maybe I might exit that business and go do something different, or exit a day-to-day role or hire somebody who's the chief operating officer and all that. So you can do that. You can even do it building sales. There's certain sales that has passive income component to it. So you can do a sale once, you can do it actively, you're going to make that sale. And then beyond that, those sales come in passively to you. So we have some of that in our industry in various ways in the financial industry. So you can build something that allows you to have passive income. The other thing is you can buy your passive income. So you can buy income producing assets like real estate. You can also buy an existing cash flowing business. So when Barbara mentioned that her neighbor owns self-storage, what is the neighbor doing? He's buying cash flow. He's buying that passive income. They look at a self-storage unit. Either he builds it or he goes and sees an existing self-storage facility that maybe is owned by a mom and pop, and he makes them an offer. He looks at their cash flow. He makes them an offer. We have some people we know that's building a national brand where they're doing this. Some of them they're building from the ground up. And some of them, they're approaching mom and pops, and they're buying those existing self-storage units and then maybe expanding it. Maybe the mom and pop didn't want to expand, but they're bringing it into their fold, into their organization, and they're expanding it. That's a way of buying passive income.
Medical practices too.
Yeah, medical practices.
Doctors, dentists.
Yeah, we have dentists who are doing this, chiropractors who are clients of ours that are doing this, eye doctors who are doing this. Well, to look at, maybe one eye doctor wants to retire, and another guy has enough money. One eye doctor wants to retire, and there's another eye doctor who has enough money that can buy that business. And that business already has existing clients, right? So people constantly go and get their eyes checked and all these different things. So now you start expanding. You can buy passive income. You can buy multifamily real estate. You can buy self-storage. You can buy, Chelsea and I are very interested in assisted living properties. So we're shopping around for assisted living properties because of the cash flow. We would be buying that. We'll be buying ideally an existing assisted living business, or we might build something from the ground up. We're looking at what's the ideal way we want to go about doing it, or some combination of both of those things. So if you don't have a lot of capital, you don't have a lot of money to go buy passive income, you can build it. You can work somewhere and stash some of your money and then leverage it to buy income producing assets that gives you cash flow. And you can do that much, much sooner than you can save $1 million in a retirement account.
Yep.
Even if you have a high income. So why do we talk also about real estate? Real estate allows you to use leverage. So you can buy and control a building worth $1 million with only $250,000 down. So there's an apartment building I see, I want to buy this apartment building. The apartment building is worth $1 million, right? I don't need to have $1 million in my bank account to go buy this apartment building. If I got 25% of that money down, I can go to a bank that will finance the rest, and then the tenants in that building will pay down the debt. It will service the debt. I will be getting cash flow from that building. Not only that, let's say I only have 50,000. I can go find 4 other people with 50,000. We can partner on the deal and go and buy that $1 million deal, and the bank will still finance us, right? Now, you cannot do that with your retirement account. It is up to you. The money in your retirement account, that's up to you. Now, if you work at a job where your employer might match you, so they might put a little bit in there, but it's your effort. You can't go find 4 neighbors and be like, hey, you want to put in on my retirement account? They're going to be like, hell no, man, we're not going to join your retirement. I got my own retirement account to worry about. But you can find 4 other people. If you got 50 grand, you can find 4 other people, and you guys can collectively go and take down that $1 million apartment building. So to control a retirement account worth $1 million, you'll need to have $1 million in that account, right? That's how that works.
Samantha asked, does this apply to franchise ideas?
Yeah, franchising, let me go back to this page here in a second. So franchising, I like because you are buying into an existing model. Now with franchising, you're kind of a little bit buying and building at the same time, unless there's a franchise. Unless somebody has built up that franchise already. So let's say it's a Subway, for example. Somebody has built up that Subway and they want to retire. And it's an existing Subway. It already has employees and everything. And you go in and you buy that Subway. Well, it already has cash flow. So you're buying that into that franchise. Another way you buy into a franchise is you can buy the rights to a franchise, but then you have to build it up. You have to go in there and find a location and do the renovation on the place and hire the staff. That's a little bit of a combination of buying and building it, because you do have to build it up to a certain point, and then you can exit. So a lot of rappers right now are buying into franchises. Shaq owns a bunch of franchises. Rick Ross, he lives here in Georgia. He owns a lot of wing franchises. So if you start looking at the music industry, Rihanna just became a billionaire. Jay-Z became a billionaire. Kanye West became a billionaire.
Go guy.
Their money their billionaire status did not come from their music, which is why Rihanna hasn't come up with a new album in a bunch of years. Because it's not because she doesn't like music, it's because music gets you into a certain income level to where other opportunities start to become open to you. So like somebody's doing franchising, you build up your income somehow, and now you have enough money to where you can go and buy a franchise. Well, you might build that franchise up, and now it's running well, and you hire a manager for that location. And then that location is going to produce, so you create jobs. You create job for that manager, you create job for the employees that work there, and then that provides you passive income to go and do that. So with franchising model, if you pick a good franchise and the fees are appropriate, it's a great model because you're getting to something that's been tested already. They have successful actions and best practices that they're using to be successful. So I absolutely like the franchise model for people who are trying to build or buy passive income. All right. Any other questions on that?
So Barbara says, in a separate discussion with others, passive income, there was some debate over what exactly this is. Some seem to feel that passive income is only passive if or when you're not doing any work at all. My feeling is that having others on your team, workers, partner, etc., who also contribute via their work efforts to your income is also passive. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And passive income, first of all, passive income doesn't mean you did nothing to create it. The whole idea that you're going to sit around and know you're not going to do any work and somehow money's going to come to you is a fantasy. It just means you're no longer actively yourself having to create that specific income. So if I do a sale once, I've actively done that work for that sale. If the following months that sale keeps paying me, the following months that would be considered my active income. My passive income. If I build a team, right? If I hire employees, I had to actively do the work to hire those employees. I'd actively do the work to build that team. And then now, after I've done that, the following months after that, the years after that, the income that then comes in will be passive. So there is work involved in passive income. So I think if people sometimes get the wrong idea about passive income, that you don't have to do anything, Barbara, you're absolutely right. I think there's many ways you can achieve the goal of passive income, but people shouldn't think that passive income means that you do nothing to somehow get it. You generally would have to do something actively in the beginning, like your neighbor who's buying self-storage units or building self-storage units had to do something actively in the beginning to build it up to a certain point. Then you can exit or step away from the day-to-day role, and then that continually comes into you. Also, with passive income doesn't mean forever income. You could get passive income like you could do a sale and you could get that passive income paid to you for 12 months or 24 months and then it stops, right? So now you got 24 months of passive income. So the reason why a lot of people like real estate is because people always need a place to live. So families can come and go from that property, but that property can be there for a long time as long as you own it, and you can get the income, the cash flow from it. So it's very key to keep that part in mind, that especially when you're building passive income, you're going to do work in the beginning to build it up, and then you can have somebody else run it and operate it for you while you go and do something else. And you may not sit home all day, but you can be able to do other things that you might want to do once you have that coming in.
That's why we like the assisted living, because it'll give us somewhere to live one day.
Yeah.
William keeps telling me I should just move right in.
Yeah. So with the assisted living things, I'm not going to be going in and providing the care for the people.
No.
We're going to be buying a deal. We're going to hire the staff that's going to be working in there. We're going to, work to make sure we're doing the marketing and stuff like that. But we're not going to be the caregivers in the building, in the properties. And then we're not going to be the assisted living managers. We're not going to be the managers of it. So we'll hire an assisted living manager. And so this is more of us buying passive income, but it's going to take work to find the right properties, negotiate on the deal, fund the deal, get the thing going, hire the staff, all of that. So we understand, but the cash flow from it is significant enough that we're willing to do that upfront work for the ongoing cash flow we'll get out of it. And other things will happen, because in assisted living facilities, people may pass away. So when somebody passes away, that cash flow that was coming from that particular person stops, and then you have to then find somebody else to come in. So you will continue to service that type of business, but as long as you have people working there, one, you create a job, so now they're employed, and then you have now allow them to be working in, and you can go and do other things that you want to do without having to be involved in the day-to-day running of it. Okay. All right. So what now? We talked about a few different things so far. We talked about the 6 building blocks to an unbreakable financial house. We talked about redefining retirement, the importance of cash flow, how to build cash flow, why you need to build cash flow much sooner rather than later, that your attention should be on creating cash flow, not just $1 million in your retirement account. So, but what if you've already gone down that path? What if you've been building things kind of the old traditional way of putting money in a traditional retirement account and all that? So if you have an old 401k means you worked at a job in the past that you had a 401k at, and you're no longer at that job anymore. So it's an old job, and we refer to that as an old 401k. Or you have an existing IRA. Maybe you roll that money. You can do something called a rollover. You roll that money over into an IRA, and you've got that there now. So we have programs that will allow you to grow your money without losses. Losses is one of 3 enemies of your wealth. We didn't go over all of that today, but loss is one of the biggest enemies of your wealth, and can pay you income for the rest of your life, just like a pension plan. So we got programs. So if you already have money inside of an old 401k, or you've got money in an IRA, you have programs that will allow you to grow your money without losses, which means you don't have to worry and stress out if the stock market goes down that you're going to lose your money. And it can pay you income for the rest of your life, just like a pension plan. People used to get things called pensions, not so much anymore, but you'd work at a company for 30 years, and it'll give you your full income or a portion of your income for the rest of your life, right? So you have those kinds of things in place. Now I'm going to show you an example of one of that we put together for somebody. There's a bunch of numbers on the screen, but just bear with me. Actually, let me set it up first before I go to that screen. So this, in this example, is somebody who had 50 years old, had money in a retirement account, and they wanted to grow their money, but they don't want to risk losing it, because they're like, hey, I'm getting close to retirement. I don't want to lose a lot of money. I want to grow my money without losing it. And we talked to them about cash flow, and they said, okay, I understand that I need cash flow for the rest of my life. How do I achieve that?
I hate losing money. I don't want to lose any money.
You don't want to lose a penny. So here's one of the things we did. So over here, I don't know if you can see. Can you see the little hand on there? Can you check?
It's a little delayed. So, okay, it's coming up now.
All right. So on here,
yeah, you can see it.
Person's 50 years old, had started with 400,000. So this is just an example of one of the programs that we have and what it looks like and what type of cash flow it would do. And
sorry, really quick, if you're on your phone, if you turn it sideways, you can see it a little bit bigger too.
Yeah. And for those of you who want to look at something like this, we'll show you how we can put together a customized plan like this for you. If you have an old 401k or you have an IRA, we will show you how we can put together a specific number scenario like this for you so you can see what your numbers will look like. All right, so we'll tell you how to do that. So stay to the end and we'll tell you how you can be able to do that. So this example, this person would get in this particular plan if they're planning to use this money for income. And their goal is, I want to create cash flow from this retirement account that I have. So over here, there's a column that says guaranteed lifetime income withdrawal. This is how much income they would get for the rest of their life guaranteed based on how much money they're putting in. So this person put in 400,000. And this is what it will look like for them. So at during the first year, putting 400,000 from age 50 to 51, their account increased to 480,000. That's a 20% increase. The reason for that is during the first year, there's a bonus credit that you get of 10. And then for the first 10 years, you get 10% credited to your account if your plan is to use this money for income. So usually we're using this for retirement accounts, where the person already plans to use it during a retirement scenario anyway. So the first year, at the end of that, I currently got a statement of 480,000. So when the plan was to retire at age 70. So they're starting at 50 at age 70. At age 70, the account would have $1,080,000 in there. They only started with 400,000 and they added no more money in there. Now, in this case, their income percentage, remember we talked about the 4% rule in the beginning? At age 70, they will be able to withdraw 4.8%. That's how much they would get as income for the rest of their life, no matter how long they live, guaranteed. It would be $51,840 a year is what they would get. Now, also, there's another benefit in this particular program here, that if they if they were confined to a facility, that means, they got into like a long-term care situation and had to move into a facility, their income will be doubled for up to 5 years. So now if we look at if they wanted to retire sooner, age 65, at age 65, their account would have gone from 400,000 to 980,000, and their withdrawal rate would be 4.3%. That equals $42,000 a year. Now, so you see, we still got them to their goal because they're able to take out a little more than 4% per year off this money. And they added no more money into it. They just put $400,000, and this would be their worst case scenario if their goal is to use this money for income. So this is typically designed for people over 45. We generally use this for those who have retirement accounts already, like a 401k, old 401k, or an IRA. If you have an existing 401k and you're under 60 years old, your company will likely not allow you to move that money anyway. So you really couldn't do anything like this with it until you left that job. But if you have an old 401k or you have a current IRA and you're 45 years old, or if you're over 45 years old, and you're interested in something like this, we can actually do a scenario for you. We'll do a strategy call with you. We'll do a free strategy call with you, with us or somebody on our team, and we'll help put a plan like this so you can see what numbers like that would look like. So you can, if you want to get a strategy call from us, you can actually go to 6buildingblocks.com/strategy. So Rain's going to type that in the comments there. So I know there's a bunch of numbers on the screen here, but I'm just walking you guys through it to show that there are plans that can both increase your money without losing it, putting it at market risk, so you won't lose a penny using this type of strategy, and provides you cash flow for the rest of your life. So if you've already started building a retirement account using the traditional way of a 401k or an IRA, you can position some of this in here. And we have people who are watching our live stream who are existing clients of ours who have done this, use the same scenario. All right. Now, if you're under 50 and you still need to build your capital. So let's say you're somebody who's like, hey, I don't have a big 401k. I don't have an old 401k. Maybe you're a business owner and you just never got a 401k. You still need to build your capital. One of the things that Chelsea and I do, you can still start a retirement plan if you want. Somebody asked about a Roth IRA earlier. You can do that. You can put money into a Roth IRA. One of the things Chelsea and I do is we use life insurance like our own bank, and we leverage our policy to buy income producing assets. We actually have multiple policies to buy income producing assets and leave your family tax-free generational wealth. So we put money inside of a life insurance policy. We leverage that money. We build up our capital inside of a life insurance policy. We leverage that to buy real estate. So now why do we go through the trouble of doing all of that? We do that because our money in a life insurance policy grows at a greater interest rate than we'll get at the bank. And we have life insurance attached to it, which pays tax-free to each other and to our trust, right? So we got that in place. So whether we live a long time or we die young or whatever, we still financially, our financial house would be set. This is why we talk about building unbreakable financial house. If both Chelsea and I passed away, our son has money that would go into a trust, both for my business and life insurance and all that, go into a trust for him. And we have instructions on what this trust is supposed to do, how it's going to provide for him. All of that, we set all that stuff up. So we use life insurance in this fashion. Here's what it looks like visually. So we fund into something called high cash value life insurance policies. We do that. We store money in there. The money compounds, never suffers a loss. It compounds, grows year after year, year after year, builds up. And then when we want to do a real estate deal, we leverage it. We buy real estate, that real estate cash flows. So you see how everything we're doing comes down to what is the cash flow. What is the cash flow? Because I can't, if a stock goes from $5 to $25, that is awesome. But unless I sell it or unless it pays me a dividend, it does not feed my family that month. The only thing that feeds my family is cash flow. I can't spend the stock. It's just a stock. It's great that it's going up. I got nothing against stocks. We got licenses to help people in the stock market, right? We can help people with investments. We have licenses to do that. I'm just explaining to you, because we're talking about retirement and cash flow in this particular seminar, that unless you sell the stock or unless the stock pays you sufficient dividends, it does not feed your family that month. However, if you buy real estate and every month you collect rent of that real estate, it will feed your family that month, which will give you cash flow. Which will give you financial freedom. And then we leverage our policies to do multiple real estate deals, and that produces multiple avenues of cash flow for us. Right. So, okay.
It's fine.
All right. So now, like I was saying, you can also buy stocks, you can buy bonds, you can buy mutual funds, you can buy crypto. Nothing wrong with doing any of those things. However, most people who are trading stocks are not usually doing it for quote unquote retirement. So you buying and selling stocks is usually not in a retirement account, it's typically in an investment account. And so this particular seminar is talking about retirement and cash flow. So if you're trying to build for retirement and your focus is on creating cash flow, you have to look at vehicles, financial vehicles that would allow you to do that. Like the first one I showed you that grows your money without losses and pays you for the rest of your life. That's one vehicle that allows you to do that. It allows you to basically build your own personal pension plan for yourself. The second thing is real estate. And in our situation, what we do for ourselves is we leverage the combination of life insurance and real estate. Because if I'm building my real estate portfolio and I die, I want to make sure we have massive amounts of life insurance so that we don't have to sell any of the real estate. And if I live a long time, I want to keep using my life insurance, leveraging it. I can borrow against it. I can withdraw money from it. When you borrow against your life insurance policy, the money doesn't leave your policy. It stays in your policy and continues to earn interest. That's why we are interested in doing that, because it allows us to keep our money working in our policy, earning interest. We can borrow against it and buy real estate. So now we got two assets. We have one asset, the life insurance. We leverage it to buy real estate. Now we got a second asset. See, The real estate cash flows, the life insurance allows us to use leverage, and the life insurance pays tax-free, so the family never has to sell the real estate. It stays in the family for generations. That's our goal, creating long-term generational wealth and generational cash flow. So that's the thing. And if you put your attention on cash flow, and you put your attention on cash flow, you will be able to build cash flow sooner, not when you're too old to enjoy it. Not because like a lot of people are building their retirement accounts to reach a certain age and then they drop out. Hey, that's my nephew Iggy. Do you have any annuities? Iggy asked. Yes, we have access to all of those kinds of things. So if those are things that people want to know about, you guys want to learn about, like I said, go to 6buildingblocks.com/strategy, and you can request a strategy call. And we want to be able to help people. We do these webinars and seminars for free. We come online on here. I'm just making sure I'm checking out our time here. So
here's a question. We're at 55 minutes.
Okay.
Are there any stipulations with leveraging from your life insurance policy?
In what way? Let me switch it back here to just Chelsea and I. Stop. I'm going to end the screen share here. And you can see our beautiful faces. So, and I can see some other questions. Any stipulation of leveraging from your life insurance policy? There's got to be money in there. That's the biggest stipulation. But let me actually explain this a little bit better so you guys can understand it. One thing with life insurance, leveraging it for whatever you want to do, like real estate or whatever it is. Insurance loans don't show up on your credit report, so it doesn't negatively impact your credit. It's a private loan between you and an insurance company, and your money in the life insurance policy is used as the collateral for that loan. Now, the policies that we use, your money can be at work in the policy, and you leverage it to go and buy real estate with it. There's no stipulations on what you have to use the money for. So you're not getting a loan because you're getting a loan to buy something specific. You're simply just taking a loan against the money. They don't even ask you what you're going to do, what the loan is for. That's not a question that they ask. And there's no repayment schedule. A repayment schedule is like I go to buy a car, and a repayment schedule is on the first of every month. You gotta send us a payment of $500 every month for this car. That's a schedule. When you go to buy a mortgage, same thing. That's a schedule. So with life insurance loans, there's not a schedule for it. So now I don't know if it's appropriate for each one of you because I don't know everybody's financial positions on here. I'm just sharing some of the things Chelsea and I do, and I'm also sharing some of the ways that a lot of our clients who has been appropriate for has been able to use it to leverage to buy real estate. They've used it to buy businesses. They've used it to leverage it to go and buy multifamily assets. We have one of these plans in place for our son. He's going to use it to buy real estate when he becomes an adult. He's 16 years old now. So there's not really stipulations on what you need to use it for. You just want money has to be in the account because you've got to fund it. So, and then you can borrow against it to go and buy assets. And you can take multiple loans against the policy, as long as there's cash inside available in the policy. So does that answer your question? Hope that answers the question for you. Hey, Samantha. Samantha says she's back. This is where you guys can go to request a free strategy call, 6buildingblocks.com/strategy. And you can get a free strategy call. You want to tell
and yes, you read my mind. And after this stream, if you have registered for this event, you will get a link to download a free digital copy of our book, Let's Fight About Money. If you didn't register for the event and you are tuning in today, go ahead and just put a comment or send us a message if you'd like a copy. It's our gift to you for showing up today. We're happy to share that with you. And like Martin said, if you would like to see how some of these strategies could work in your financial house with your specific numbers, we're happy to schedule a complimentary strategy call for you. 6buildingblocks.com/strategy. What are you smiling over there for?
No, I'm just smiling because, I'm smiling because I'm fulfilling my life's purpose.
It's not because you're looking at your wife in the camera?
No, it's not because I'm looking at my wife. Although you do look beautiful.
It's because you were looking at yourself, huh?
Well, no, I was just thinking about I'm fulfilling my life's purpose. I came here from Liberia, West Africa. I wanted to learn about money, and I came from a country that has a lot of poor people, and I wanted to make a difference in people's lives financially. I wanted to understand money and help other people understand it better. And so the things we're doing is helping people get into a better and stronger financial position, ensuring the financial survival of the family if something happens to the breadwinner, making sure businesses do well. Hey, nephew, we'll send you go download a copy. Iggy's my nephew.
Hey, Iggy.
So go download a copy of the book, letsfightaboutmoney.com/ebook. And so I'm fulfilling my life's purpose, and to me that's just a great thing. So it makes me smile. So I thank you guys for being on here with us. Thank you for participating in our live stream. And anything else you want to say?
Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to helping you further strengthen your financial house and reach your financial goals and your potential and live the life you truly want to live.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.